So what I'm going to do today, this will be very simple. I'm just going to I'm going to give some not job descriptions, but job titles. People that I know hire voiceover talent from my experience. This won't be necessarily an exhaustive list, but these are the ones that come right off the top of my head and the ones I see over and over and over again. But in terms of job titles, let's start with creative director. Creative director is a very common job title. That's a really good category. Next would be casting directors. There are a lot of jobs are farmed out through agencies and casting directors, who audition. Here's a big one. Chief training officers. E-learning is perhaps the largest segment. If you're looking at niches within voiceover, that would be a big one, maybe the biggest. The chief training officers typically exist in the larger corporations, but they're the ones who are oversee and are responsible for training for the organization, for the company. And they may not always be the person who are in the trenches making the decisions on voices, but it's a great place to start because you're hitting the top of the chain. And oftentimes, if they like what they hear, they'll pass it on to the people who are making those decisions. And a lot of e-learning, a lot of corporate training is farmed out to, independent corporate learning companies. So instructional designers are a big category. Big, big, big category. I think I've said this before that probably close to half of my clients are in Europe. The next one I will mention will be audiobook publishers. I've done my fair share of auditioning on platforms, like ACX and others, but I had my best luck worked out for me the best when I worked directly with publishers, and I had a lot of success doing that. And the great thing about that is that once you have a relationship with a publisher, you may never have to audition again for an audiobook, but at least my experience was once I did a few books and they knew me and what I sounded like and how I operated, I would just start getting emails on a regular basis saying, I've got this title. Are you interested? And it resulted in a steady stream of audiobook work. Anytime you can form a relationship with somebody, it's going to help get repeat work. Sometimes it's difficult to find the people. Sometimes it's pretty well hidden who the specific people are or the contact information for the people that you want to contact. But it never hurts to reach out to info at, because I've had good success with marketing communication being passed on to the proper people. I was just wanted to find out if you guys are currently accepting voiceover demos. If they say, yeah, well, great. Well, who should I address it to? Who should I send my demos or my contact information to? Most people aren't terribly comfortable with that. And as I mentioned earlier, it's not uncommon for the person who answers the phone to say, yeah, I'm that person, which is great. You say, super, great. What's your email address? And I'll send out an email with a link to my demos right away. And you will be, if you haven't done this yet, I think you'll be surprised by the positive response that you'll get from people. And the comment that I get more than anything else, believe it or not, is, yeah, sure, would love to hear your demos. We're always looking for good voices. I hear that over and over again. It doesn't mean I'm always hired, or picked up by that client, but I hear that frequently. That, yeah, we're always on the lookout for good voices. Or maybe, we don't have a project in the pipeline right now, but we're always looking for somebody. So if you want to send us your demos, great. So I'm just going to throw that out there. You're going to carry more weight than an email. So I would challenge you just to experiment with it. Try it. Maybe make one phone call a day, one phone call a week. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by the response that you get.